All right. Welcome to the Wednesday, February 5th, Northern Nevada Water Planning Commission meeting. In our meeting today, we will have public, well, I guess to start out with, let's go ahead and do the roll call. Okay. And I'll turn the time back over. Jen, are you going to do that?
Daniel Henderson.
Here.
Michael Widmer. Bill Hauk.
Here.
Casey Menser.
Here.
John Enlow.
Here.
John Flansburgh.
Here.
Mylin Nguyen.
Here.
Michael Drinkwater.
Here.
Chris Melton.
Here.
Eric Crump.
Here.
Chris Mixon.
Here.
Nate Allen. David Kelly. Jennifer Carr. We have a quorum.
All right. Thank you. Public comment. Do we have any public comment at this time? All right. Then with that, we will progress to item number 3, approval of the agenda. Has anyone looked over the agenda? Do we?
Move to approve, sir.
All right. So Commissioner Drinkwater, motion to approve.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Crump. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 4, approval of the minutes from the November 6, 2024 concurrent Western Region Water Commission and Northern Nevada Water Planning Commission meeting. Hopefully, individuals have had a chance to review those minutes. I would be looking for a motion.
I have reviewed the minutes and moved to approve.
All right, Commissioner or Vice Chair Menser, motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, and a second from Commissioner Melton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, we have, we're up to item number 5, and I guess Kim Rigdon is online. And Kim, did you want to introduce this item?
I do. Thank you, Chairman. Members of the commission, Kim Rigdon for the record. Can everybody hear me okay? I just want to do a sound check.
We can hear you just fine.
Perfect. The WRWC Act requires that the Regional Water Management Plan be updated, reviewed and updated every 5 years. And in Section 42, Item 7, that outlines requirements for the plan to include a cost and financing analysis for major facilities and impacts of those costs to the community. Hansford Economic Consulting, excuse me, performed the financial analysis and prepared this part of the plan for the Northern Nevada Water Planning Commission in 2016 and in 2021. Members of the Water Planning Commission have found her work to be informative and her deliverables professional. I reached out to Ms. Hansford, who is the principal of HEC, and asked her to submit a proposal for professional services to assist us with the 2026 Regional Water Management Plan update. Her proposal is included in your board packet as attachment 5A and outlines a scope of work and a budget not to exceed $34,990. Ms. Hansford is here to briefly go through some of the scope of work tasks and answer any questions from the board. And I can't see in the room, so Ms. Hansford, are you there?
She is here, and she's walking up to the podium.
Perfect.
Good afternoon, Catherine.
Let's see. Are you going to advance the slide? Okay. Well, thank you for having me. As Ms. Rigdon said, I did help with this, writing this chapter, the last 2 updates of the plan. And the proposal is in front of you, so this is going to be very brief. I'll just quickly go over each of the tasks in the proposal. So task 1 is to coordinate with the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Agency. Last year, I worked with the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Agency on creating their first public infrastructure plan, or the PIP for short. And the PIP has 5 domains that it looks at, but 3 of them are domains that are in the regional water management plan, so potable water, wastewater, and stormwater flood. And as a part of their annual update that they're doing, they're asking each of the entities to provide their capital improvement plans for the next 5 years, and any other pertinent information, as well as information on projects they have completed over the last year. And they are putting that together as part of their work plan. In the past, when I've done this chapter, that's something that I have done. I have contacted each of the entities individually, put that information together. So, so this first task is working with the TMRPA staff and obtaining that data from them, checking to see if there's any gaps in that, and if there is any gaps in that or follow-up needed, to contact each of the entities directly for that. The second task is the financial analysis. So this is taking a deeper dive than the information that's received for the PIP, and this is looking at not just what the expenditures are for the next 5 years, but how that's going to be funded, and provides that description and probably, I would think, some conversations with each of the entities about the projects in their CIPs, so that task three can be done, which is writing up that financial chapter. Task 4 is to meet with staff and to come before you and to present the findings for the chapter, and also come to the Western Regional Water Commission meeting. And then task 5 is an optional task. It's called the fee burden analysis. This was prepared for the last regional water management plan, and it's not a piece of work that goes into the plan itself, but it's a very informative piece of work, and the findings of that were folded into the last section of that financial chapter. And that's looking at the costs of development and how much of a burden the water and wastewater costs are for new development. It's really a feasibility analysis, and it's interesting to see the trends over time, what the analysis said 5 years ago and what it could say now. But it's not a mandatory piece of work under NRS for the chapter, so that's why it is presented as an optional task. Okay.
All right.
I'll just stay right here in case.
All right, thank you, Catherine. Do we have any questions from the commission? I'll just state that I appreciate the work that you have performed with the Regional Planning Agency and the opportunity to fold this work in and take and the reason to be able to not have duplicate efforts, that we've already supplied a lot of this information, and I think that's very helpful. So thank you for that. Anyone that's attending virtually? I don't get any of the hands up, so I can't see that. All right. Jennifer's shaking her head, no. So with that and no questions, this would be an opportunity for action. Commissioner Drinkwater.
Well, thank you, sir. I move to, forward a recommendation of approval to the Western Regional Water Commission for the scope of work and funding not to exceed $34,990 from the Regional Water Management Fund for Hansford Economic Consultants to update the cost and finance chapter of the Regional Water Management Plan. Wow.
All right, I have a motion. I have a motion from Commissioner Drinkwater. Do I have a second?
Second, Commissioner Houck.
All right, I have a second from Commissioner Houck. With that, any further questions on the motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Nay? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Catherine. We look forward to continuing working with you. All right, we'll go to the next item then, item number 6. Item number 6 is action, discussion, possible recommendation to the Western Regional Water Commission for approval of a scope of work and funding not to exceed $40,000 from the Regional Water Management Fund for the public relations firm Good Standing to provide professional services to the Western Regional Water Commission. Kim.
Thank you, Chairman. Members of the Commission, Kim Rigdon for the record. So staff has received really positive feedback from both the Water Planning Commission and Western Regional Water Commission on the recent website updates. The WRWC members have requested that staff start working on and include an education page to the website specifically to provide a better understanding to the public of who we are and content that helps the Western Regional Water Commission, the elected officials, have talking points and to point their constituents to our website to get some more information on some of the projects that we're working on and how we all work together. In your board packet, attachment 6A is a proposal from Good Standing, and Good Standing is a public relations firm currently already working with some of our other Water Planning Commission agencies on education outreach activities, specifically Smart About Water for Tumwa and the One Water Nevada Partnership. Good Standing is well suited to provide these professional services to the WRWC and to create a framework for what we're going to pilot a series of videos on how water works in the Truckee Meadows. Good Standing's engagement with existing outreach in the Truckee Meadows and their understanding of comprehensive water management addressed in the Regional Water Management Plan already makes the firm well suited to assist our staff in this project. Cami Elquist-Lohr is a communication planner with Good Standing, and she is also here today. Again, I can't see in the room, so I'm not sure if she's up at the podium or not, but she's here to address the proposed scope of work and answer any questions the board may have. And then afterwards, Chairman, I can go ahead and state the staff recommendation for that, or you can take it from there.
All right, thank you, Kim. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Cami Luray with Good Standing, for the record. And so this slide is just a really high-level overview of what you see in your packet. And essentially, it comes in like three major thrusts of work that we would provide. The first one being queuing off of the Regional Water Management Plan, being able to condense that information in a really visual way that people understand the objectives and key takeaways of that plan that would then spur off into the parts of that plan that dive down deeper. And then from there, going into a page on the website that could identify all of the projects and priorities of the agency, including all of the entities, and again, being able to provide a link out, if available, to the entity's work where people could dive deeper down if they so choose. And then finally, the pilot on the How Water Works project, this, I'm envisioning anywhere from 4 to 5 videos to be able to encapsulate this in a way that the public can understand, and typically that's anywhere from a 3 to 5 minute video on each topic. And we would work, tightly with Kim and this agency to be able to identify what topics those should be, again, provide a comprehensive understanding for the public on what is done in this agency through WRWC approvals and what those priorities are as well through those videos. So it's kind of a 3-step communication approach, and I'm glad to take any questions if you have them.
You're going to help us tell our story.
In a way that the public hopefully can get the high level on it.
No, for sure.
Yeah, and I think the public has a lot of misconceptions on who manages water. So hopefully we can begin to define that and offer them a way to get deeper into the content of each entity, because that's where the real descriptions and the technical language and those kind of details live. So not really recreating that for the public, but providing a really high-level overview so they can get the gist of it and maybe get some of their larger questions answered about regional water management.
All right. Are there any questions for Cami? Commissioner Crump.
Thank you. Yeah, this question is probably directed at Ms. Rigdon. So looking at the scope of work and number 2, developing website content on kind of the existing projects. Just curious, like moving forward, obviously our projects change generally from year to year. So will we have the ability to make those changes in-house? Do you anticipate that?
I do anticipate that. That's a great question. Yes, we want to develop something that we have a good message to the public, and that message aligns with our partners. And so we don't want to recreate the wheel. So if it's a project that's being done with the City of Reno and Tumwa, we really want to do a really high level overview and then point them to the special web pages or the agency web pages where those projects are described further. So yes, the answer is we would like the website to be updatable in-house, and we also have Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Agency that's actually doing our website design. So what Good Standing is helping us do is develop the content, while the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Agency will continually be under contract with us on the shared work program to help us with that, with the regular updates of the website.
Thank you. And I would just say I really like the idea of the videos as well. We've seen some good success with how videos can be used. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And of course, we'll be looking to the membership here on the commission and staff to assist with this work to tell the story. But it's really to just we have a wonderful water system and how things work here and how they're interrelated, and so it's an opportunity to tell that story. Any other comments? Anyone online? Okay. Now I thought John Enlow would just like really want to jump in here and comment, but.
Again, if you want.
Jump right in, John. I was hoping you would.
My only comment is that Cammie has done a lot of work for Tumwa, and she's a huge help. Work is very professional, and she's got a lot of other projects she's working on throughout the community. So I think this will just fit well in with everything that she's doing. So I'm fully in support.
All right. Thank you, John. Well, I am ready for you to make a motion.
First, on observation, I've heard it's a small town that Mr. Gephardt is retiring this year. I'm hoping that perhaps we could contract him to be the voice of Northern Nevada Water, not just perhaps on the website.
Yeah, I've already got him for our radio interviews, so yeah.
All right. That being said, so I'm happy to move to recommend forward a recommendation of approval to the WRWC for a scope of work and funding not to exceed $40,000 from the Regional Water Management Fund for the public relations firm Good Standing to provide professional services to the WRWC.
All right. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Commissioner Mixon beat you out. So good job, Commissioner Mixon. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Cammie.
For the record, sir, were you voting nay or just indicating how one would vote?
How one would vote. Yes. Thank you. Well, moving right along. We are on to item number 7. So we have action, discussion, direction to staff, and recommendation to the Western Region Water Commission for approval of the draft fiscal year 2025-2026 tentative budget. Kim.
Thank you, Chairman. Members of the Commission, Kim Rigdon for the record, and it is budget season again. We're coming before the Commission a little early this year because we won't be having a March WRWC meeting due to the 2025 Water Reuse Symposium in Tampa. So we're trying to get the tentative budget approved this month by both boards so that we can submit that on the deadlines. I don't know, I can't see the slides on my screen, so I'm not sure if they're up. There we go.
Yep.
I can see them now. Thank you. So the tentative budget schedule is we have to submit that to the Department of Taxation by April 15th, and then we need to hold a budget hearing by between May 19th and 30th. And the final budget must be submitted to the state by June 1st. And you can advance slide. All right, so in your board packet under item 7, attachment 7A are the Department of Taxation budget documents that are required for submission. I'm going to briefly go through attachment 7B, which is a more detailed budget that we'll review. So on 7B, page 1, you'll see the budget summary. And in the budget summary, you'll see that we anticipate revenue from our 1.5% water surcharge fees from public water systems in the planning area of $1.98 million. And our total expenses, including our professional services contracts, staff services, and routine operating expenses, are $3.42 million. After doing all the calculations and looking into our crystal ball and figuring out what we think we're going to spend at the end of this fiscal year, we estimated a cash balance for fiscal year 25 of $1.88 million. So for the fiscal year 25 projected cash balance, we have $433,000, and that is our recommended 6-month operating budget. Next slide. Okay, and on page 2, this is really familiar to our Water Planning Commission members. We do our priority setting in October, and so this budget comes directly from the priority setting workshop, where we affirm our priorities that support the implementation of the Regional Water Management Plan. I know that that table is too small to be putting on a slide, so I tried to summarize each of the categories and their totals for a total professional services budget of $2.63 million. Next slide. And on page 3, this is our routine operating budget. And again, these tables get a bit large for PowerPoint presentations, but the total staff services amount is $645,000. And our non-staff services, which is our routine operating expenses, is $153,800. So our total routine operating budget is $798,718. Sorry, it's a little bit blurry on my screen. And staff is proposing that the Northern Nevada Water Planning Commission make a recommendation to the WRWC for approval of the fiscal year 26 tentative budget, either as presented or with revisions based on conversation. On another note, if we could go back one slide, Jen. I forgot to mention. Oh, well, I forgot to mention that on page 2, you'll see at the bottom, there's $900,000 in our contingency line item. And that $900,000 is there so that we can accommodate those budgets that are TBD, to be determined. So there's project scopes of work that haven't been developed yet. I just wanted to make sure that the commission was aware that we do have sufficient budget to cover those projects that are still working on their scopes of work. And Chairman, I'll take any questions from the board.
Thank you, Kim. I was going to mention that as well. I mean, how can we run a deficit this great and from our revenues to our expenditures? Well, we can do that because we do have a large contingency out there that we don't always know all the projects that are going to come forward. And then, like you said, we do have some projects that the scope hasn't been fully vetted just yet, but we've got some funding in reserve. So again, this is a budget that we would recommend to the Western Region Water Commission. And the Western Region Water Commission sometimes has those projects that come in that are part of contingency. So it just helps us in that regard. So with that, questions on the tentative budget for Kim? Not seeing anything immediately here. How about those attending virtually?
Yeah, Commissioner Flansburgh, this is John Enlow. I just had a question for Kim on that contingency funding. You're probably going to talk about it briefly in your program manager's report, but the scope of work that we're expecting from Raftelis for the wastewater regionalization study, can you kind of comment a little bit about that, or is that? I just want to make sure we feel we have enough money to incorporate that work, since we know it's one of the priorities of Western Regional Water Commission.
Sure. Good question. Thank you, John. Yeah, so we're actually hoping to get if we get the amendment to the proposal, very quickly, then we're going to bring that before the Water Planning Commission in March, and then before the Western Regional Water Commission in April. We currently have about $500,000, $600,000 still left in the fiscal year 25 budget. So we have money in this budget to accommodate getting that project, kicked off. And then we have the $900,000 for the next fiscal year to add to that if needed. So there's plenty of funding for that project moving forward.
Thank you for that explanation.
That's a great clarification. Thank you, Kim. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right. I'm not seeing or hearing any from this group. Would somebody like to entertain a motion for a recommendation?
Well, Mr. Chair, since you were looking this direction, I would be happy to do so.
You had a 50-50 chance, Commissioner Drinkwater.
Landlord's not here, otherwise sir, I move to forward a recommendation of approval to the WRWC for the draft WRWC fiscal year 25-26 tentative budget.
All right, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
And from Commissioner Crump, I have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we will now go to item number 8, Program Manager Report, and turn the time back over to you, Kim.
Thank you, Chairman. Members of the Commission, Kim Rigdon for the record. So Jen, do you have that slide up on the screen? Perfect.
There is
All right,
an
so
eye chart up on the screen.
Perfect. I can see it. It's a little blurry on my end, so I'm hoping that it's more clear in the chambers there. Item 8 in your board packet is our project highlights for projects that are funded through the Regional Water Management Fund. And there's a list at this, again, I don't expect anybody to read this. I kind of throw it up on the screen, hoping that it'll reference what's in the board packet. I wanted to give just a brief, as John said, an overview and report on the wastewater request for proposal process that we've been going through. We held workshops in September and October to come together and kind of figure out how we wanted to move forward with the Western Regional Water Commission's request to look at the feasibility of regionalization of our wastewater systems. So we went out to RFP, and there was a working group assigned with 4 of the Water Planning Commission members, Commissioner Crump, Commissioner Flansburgh, Commissioner Emlow, and Commissioner Drinkwater, and myself, and went ahead and interviewed our proposal. We had one proposal come in, Raftalis, and we did an interview with them a week ago. I'm a little sick, so I can't remember if it was last week or the week before. And we are in the process of having them provide an amendment, which includes a more detailed scope of work that'll be phased for that effort. Once they submit that, I will be sending that out for comment to the working group, and then we'll get that back to them and bring that agreement to the Water Planning Commission, like I said, in March, and then get it to the WRWC for approval in April. So that'll continue to move forward. For the projects we have, you'll notice that it doesn't look like there's any invoicing going on for our Nevada Water Innovation Institute. It's not because work's not happening. We just have had a couple of invoice challenges, so we're getting those squared away. They have made progress on the enhanced source control and their regional water management coordination support. Currently, NWII has done a great job in assisting staff, in particular, to review Chapter 3, 4, and 7 of the Regional Water Management Plan to help us really vision how we want to create some digital tools for the data that we're going to be using in the plan and referencing in the plan. So Laura Hauk, Dr. Hauk has been really great in assisting us with that. And as well, we met with them on Monday with Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Agency, Director Smith, and they're moving forward this Friday, putting together a web page so that we have those tools available to our Water Planning Commission member partners and agency staff. So we're really looking forward to that and excited about that effort moving forward. The Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Agency has also developed the draft wastewater flows for the plan, and those have been sent out for review and comment, as well as other website enhancements, and working with us on the Regional Effluent Management Alternatives tool. The Cold Springs water balance model was completed, and that draft has been sent out for review, so we're looking forward to comments on that. And I think that's it for project status. So if we go to the next slide. And so this is our quarterly revenue and expense report for the Regional Water Management Fund. Nothing earth-shattering here. We're on target to meet our budget plan. And once we receive those UNR invoices, the billing will be more up to date for Q1 and Q2. So we are missing some of the professional services contracts billing there. But once we get that in there, it'll be up to date. But we are on track. We're within budget, and all is well financially. And with that, Chairman, I'll take questions from the board.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate the packet, because I can actually read the packet, so that's helpful. And but I appreciate the status of these. I don't have any questions. Does any member of the commission have a question on any of the projects in the status report, or on the overall budget report from our program manager? Seeing none. Anyone online? Jen?
Yeah.
Yes,
Commissioner
John.
Flansburgh, just one quick question. Kim, on the Cold Springs water balance model, are we going to get a presentation of the results of that modeling effort? Because it's been a long time coming. It affects a lot of us regionally, and it's an important issue. It would be great to have an update on that and a discussion of next steps.
Yes, great question. As soon as we get the feedback from the partnering agencies, and I know that there are some model updates that have been suggested already, and that's completed, I'll work with Washoe County, and we'll get Stan Tech in front of the board and giving a presentation on that model. I think that would be great.
Thank you.
Okay, not seeing any other, we can, and there's no action here, so we can move to 9, which kind of dovetails into future agenda items, meeting dates and locations. Any
Thank you,
future
Chairman.
agenda items from the commission? For Kim, we have one from Commissioner Enlow. Kim, go ahead and discuss meeting dates and locations.
Oh, that's okay. I just normally, in our first meeting of the year, do a 2025 calendar outlook and meeting our milestones. And so I just wanted to throw this up on the screen, and then I can take whatever agenda items that are suggested. But we have on April 2nd, we're going to have board elections. I'm also not sure if we're going to have that meeting, so that may get pushed to May 2nd or May 7th. So that's a little bit in flux. We will not have a meeting on July 2nd, and our October 1st meeting is obviously our priority setting, and we'll find a good location to hold the priority setting workshop. And November 5th is our joint meeting with the Western Regional Water Commission. So I just wanted to give a calendar outlook and take some suggestions for agenda items. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, thank you. So next meeting would be March 5th, 2025.
That's yes, correct. Sorry, I
Okay,
had to look at my screen. Yep, March 5th, 2025, Washoe County Chambers, same time, 1:30 p.m.
Question, Mr. Chair.
yes.
Did we not earlier say that conflicts with the water reuse conference, and we were anticipating not having that meeting, Ms. Rigdon?
Your mic is not on, Commissioner Drinkwater, so I'm not sure I heard the question.
I apologize. Does not the March 5th meeting conflict with the water reuse conference?
No, it does not.
I
That
apologize.
starts on the 15th. It conflicts with the Western Regional Water Commission meeting.
Oh,
And then On the Western Regional Water Commission meeting is on March 16th. And so we won't be holding the Western Regional Water Commission meeting, but we will be doing the Northern Nevada Water Planning Commission meeting on the 2nd.
I apologize, I misunderstood.
I'm sorry, I was on April. Once again, March 5th and March 19th. I apologize. I was looking at the April calendar.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. We don't necessarily need to have a motion on this, so I think we'll just note that the next scheduled meeting is for March 5th. All right, time now for item number 10, commission comments, and I would like to just welcome Commissioner Mixon here, representing the Pyramid Lake Paiute Tribe. Donna Marie Noel was appointed to be the representative for Pyramid Lake Paiute Tribe with Chris Mixon as her alternate. Donna was not able to make it today due to a prior commitment, so we welcome Commissioner Mixon. And so thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Should have done that at the beginning of the meeting, but sometimes we dive right in, so I apologize for that. But I will open it up for other commission comments. We're a quiet group today. All right, no, seeing none. Then item number 11 for staff comments.
We just want to welcome, thank you, Chairman. We wanted to welcome Chris Mixon as well as staff, and we're looking forward to more communications in the future on our projects and our activities. So welcome from staff as well. Thank you very much. And with that, I don't think we have any other comments. I'm not sure. I think Birgit's in the room, and Jen, I can't really look at them and nod and see if they had any other comments, but.
I don't have any additional comments.
Very good. All right, thank you. We'll move them to item number 12, public comment. Jen, do we have any public comment cards? Okay, having no public comment, I'll be looking for number 13 for adjournment. So moved. We'll just, this meeting is adjourned.